In the first days of October 2025, the United States entered a government shutdown, an unresolved budget impasse, that began when Congress failed to pass needed appropriations bills by September 30th. Government operations at multiple levels immediately stalled, and by day one, hundreds of thousands of federal employees were furloughed. Essential services continued, but under strain. The ripple effects grew deeper almost instantly. Delayed paychecks, paused contracts, and confusion across agencies. The public watching wondered, who, if anyone, will be protected from the damage? President Donald Trump, under intense pressure, made a decisive move on October 11th. He directed the Department of Defense to use all available funds to ensure U.S. military personnel receive their October 15th paychecks, despite the ongoing shutdown. The funds come from unused research and development appropriations from the previous fiscal year. About $8 billion in obligational capacity. Over 1.3 million active-duty troops, many living paycheck to paycheck, could otherwise face severe hardship. Trump emphasized his responsibility as commander-in-chief to protect the troops. The Guardian +3 Reuters +3 AP News +3. But that move left others behind. Roughly 750,000 federal civilian employees remain furloughed without pay. These are the people who keep parks open, process passports, maintain public infrastructure, support essential regulatory functions. Even among the essential workers who stay on the job, TSA agents, air traffic controllers, border patrol, healthcare and public health staff, the fear is constant. Will their pay arrive on time? Will they be exempted by name or by department? Le Monde.fr +3 The Washington Post. +3 The Guardian. +3 The shutdown has exposed more than just governmental paralysis. It has exposed the fragility of daily life for Americans dependent on public pay, government contracts and public services. Contractors, including those in janitorial, security, food service, and tech support, who operate on federal or state contracts, are especially vulnerable. Many rely on prompt payments, but with appropriations in limbo, contract renewal delayed, and legislative uncertainty. Hundreds of thousands of contractor employees are seeing work disappear, wages delayed, benefits suspended. Ayanna Pressley +2 Reuters +2 Legally speaking, rerouting funds for the military raises serious constitutional and statutory questions. The Anti-Deficiency Act prohibits federal entities from obligating or expending funds not appropriated by Congress. Critics warn that using R&D funds to pay troops might violate this statute. Despite Trump's directive, some legal experts argue that precedent must be carefully considered. What is permitted in emergencies, and what becomes a slippery slope? Politico + Reuters. Meanwhile, the political battle lines have sharpened. Republicans controlling both chambers of Congress express frustration with Democratic resistance, particularly over provisions they insist must be included in any spending or stopgap bill, including healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. Democrats, on the other hand, insist that funding healthcare and protecting vulnerable populations cannot be cut or left out. The result, a deadlock. For now, no clean bill has passed and no compromise has been reached. The Guardian +2 Reuters. The economic cost is mounting. According to EY Parthenon and other independent analysts, each week of the shutdown is costing the U.S. economy around $7 billion. There are drops in consumer confidence, delays in government contracts, interruptions in regulatory approvals, and faltering supply chains. Tourism takes a hit. Airports suffer delays. National parks close or reduce services. Passport offices slowly grind to a halt. Families dependent on government earnings face missed bills, foregone rent, or even food insecurity. Le Monde.fr +3 EY +. The Guardian +3 in the military community, the shutdown's impact is deeply felt. Relief societies report an unprecedented rise in requests for assistance. Military families have little margin. Many have mortgages, car loans, bills that expect monthly predictable income. The Defense Finance and Accounting Service has noted that it needs at least 2 days lead time to process troops' pay. If authority to release funds is not provided by October 13th, many could face delayed pay beyond the promised October 15th date. Air Force Times #1 federal programs that normally serve as safety nets show cracks. Public health programs, such as immunizations and disease surveillance, are under-resourced. Scientists at labs operate with fewer staff. Vital data reporting paused. Employees at institutions like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention face job cuts or layoffs, especially in departments tracking infectious diseases. The agency's ability to respond swiftly to public health concerns may be compromised. The Guardian +2 Reuters +2 small businesses and state and local governments are not immune. Many depend on federal contracts or regulatory approvals. With delays, permits stall. Environmental or construction projects lose momentum. Regulatory delays from agencies like FDA, EPA, or USDA ripple into industries across agriculture, biotech, manufacturing. Investors see uncertainty creeping in. Markets tread carefully. Decisions on interest rates, inflation forecasts, or trade policy become harder to make when so much of the government is offline. Financial content to Le Monde, Defar +2 Trump's message, meanwhile, has become centered on political accountability. He places blame squarely on Democratic opposing voices, accusing them of jeopardizing national security and endangering millions of Americans. At the same time, GOP leaders are also feeling pressure from their base. Many Republican constituents are suffering from the shutdown's fallout. Pressure mounts not only in public opinion but also among Republican legislators who fear losing key votes in upcoming elections. The Guardian +2 Reuters. Despite the chaos, some are attempting solutions. On Capitol Hill, there have been efforts to pass bills guaranteeing back pay for federal contract workers and low-wage service workers impacted by the shutdown. One such proposal, led by Representative Ayanna Pressley and others, focuses on protecting janitorial, food service, and security staff paid by contractor agreements. Many of them make under 15-hour with few protections. Ayanna Pressley experts warn that if the shutdown drags into a third or fourth week, the damage will deepen. Consumer spending will fall further. Businesses will delay investments. International investors will grow wary. Markets become volatile. Analysts estimate lost output could permanently reduce Q4 GDP growth by up to 0.2 percentage points per additional week of shutdown. UPI +2 The Guardian +2 for workers. Opportunities for loans, relief programs, or borrowing against savings or retirement accounts become last resorts. The emotional toll is high. Anxiety spikes. Mental health concerns rise. Households already living paycheck to paycheck face months of recovery. By the time this crisis resolves, many will carry scars, not just in their wallet, but in trust, stability, and community rhythm. So what does this crisis truly test? It tests leadership in both the White House and Congress. It tests the resilience of American democracy's ability to serve its people under strain. It tests whether promises mean more than politics. When logo lights dim, parks remain closed, rings echo in silent halls, and screens blink off. The question is, will those in power restore function, livelihoods, dignity? Or will this shutdown turn into another chapter where people no longer believe in governance? Because in the end, this shutdown is more than politics. It's people. It's families waiting. It's military members unsure. It's contractors, students, scientists, everyday Americans asking, how much longer? And when the final budget is signed, when lights flick back on, when paychecks resume, the verdict will not just be about laws or lines in bills. It will be about whether trust survives this chaos, about whether leadership delivered when the lights went out.